I have a question for the two of you, which is a little bit of a sidebar. As the two active NBA players who were first to get into the podcast game, now there's obviously a ton of them, but you guys were at the forefront of this. Where do you think we are now with just the player empowerment in general and controlling your own narrative, whether it's your own personal narrative, your own team narrative, your teammates' narrative, and not having to talk about hot take culture, not having to rely on a third party to basically be your megaphone?
I think we're in a great spot. I think this is ideal for most players, especially players who enjoy media, players who enjoy speaking up for themselves. Like you can literally go on Twitter and get your point across. And I don't know how many characters you're allowed to do now, but you can use Twitter. You can live stream or go live, which can be good or bad depending on who you are. Or you can go on a player's podcast. And by the time the podcast comes out and is circulating, people listen to it, there will be a headline from that podcast, which is good and bad, depending on what you say. But I think this is the best time in the sports world, like financially, from an access standpoint. I think players, fans have more access than ever before to players. And I appreciate it because I'm a fan of the game. I'm a fan of a lot of different players in different sports. So I like to see when Tom Brady posts a video or when Stephon Diggs is on his Snapchat working out, because it paints the picture of, you see the success, but you don't know what goes into that success. And I think now more than ever, you get to really understand a player's day-to-day life on and off the court.
Yeah, I would just add on, not every player should have a podcast. And not every player that commits to doing a podcast will actually follow through with that commitment. Because CJ, as you know, when you commit to do a podcast, for real, like you're contractually obligated to put out a certain number of episodes, and it's a big commitment. I think you mentioned all the other ways to get your own narrative out there, and so I think it's an amazing time to be an athlete. And also, I would say it's an amazing time to be an NBA player. Like as much as like I fucking complain about fucking social media, I complain about it and all the shit we got to deal with in that world, the shit with the hot take culture. Like it's a great time to be an NBA player. Like it's good right now, and all that stuff, whether you like it or not, it's great for the game. It's great for business. That's just a fact.